The Nyéléni Forum brings together over 500 delegates from more than 40 European countries to discuss all kinds of issues related to food and agricultural policy. The aim is to bring together different constituencies to unite in a common struggle for food sovereignty.
And we're here to defend something that is super fundamental to all of us, which is food. We share a vision of agriculture where we have healthy soils.
Food sovereignty is about taking back control of our food system. It's about putting decision-making power over food and agriculture back into the hands of the people that actually produce our food.
The main problem with the development of our food system is that people are driven out and corporations are capturing everything. From the seeds to the type of food that we eat to how our farming systems are constructed, everything is big corporate business now. And we are all here at the forum to show that we want a different system and that there are so many very good solutions.
For our Dutch delegation, we put together a diverse group of participants, from farmers to future farmers to shepherds to fisherfolk to platforms that connect producers and consumers to NGOs and to researchers.
Politically and personally, this forum is important in terms of participating in a process and a movement to advance principles of justice and equity and environmental sustainability for food systems. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face is how do we ensure that the voices of those affected by the policies are the ones actually being heard in policy discussions. I mean, there are 500 people here, but they all represent organizations with far more than 500 people.
I think it's very important to know where your food is coming from and to be able to influence the way it's produced and the way it's been traded and so on.
The Dutch delegation has the opportunity to exchange with delegations from all over Europe to discuss proposals, to come up with joint strategies, actions and campaigns.
Everyone is agreeing that the food system is really broken. We need collective action to change this and to have political impact and political change, to put pressure on big corporations to make sure we can transit to a more sustainable food system.
At the forum, every country is represented by a market stall which showcases what's going on in their country.
We are the wind of change.
The Dutch delegation is represented at the forum through a poster of a windmill in which the winds of change are blowing the challenges that we face away.
And then the mill will produce all kind of successes. What I like at some of the countries, they brought their artisanal products. I think Dutch people also should be proud of their own product.
For example, in the Netherlands, they don't know that small-scale fishes exist. They only know these big trawlers. They don't see fish of our traditional fishers. So we just hope that they become more visible and that Dutch people also know that we produce very good and tasty products in the Netherlands.
The forum has different thematic axes where we discussed models of production and consumption, food markets and food distribution systems, working conditions and social rights, and access to land and other natural resources.
Access to land, and that's something that farmers in all European countries face. Land is very expensive, and if together we can influence policies, local ones, national ones, but also European ones, that could make a big difference. And I think for that it's necessary to be in stronger contact, more direct communication and joint actions and shared projects.
At the forum we are debating with high-level policymakers to really make a difference and a change.
We can establish partnerships, we can talk with governments, talk with civil society, try to bring them on the table and promote the dialogue.
We need to raise awareness about alternatives. They are there. There's a European-wide alternative called Alternative Trade Mandate. This is it. It's in English, in Dutch, in more languages. So we need structural change in the trade and agricultural policy in the way that farmers get a fair price and also that all environmental costs and animal welfare costs are in the price of the product.
There are a number of field trips organized at the forum, including to Europe's largest gold mine in the south of Romania. And there are a number of farm visits, including to Romanian peasants and even to a Dutch farmer that is settled in Romania.
What the people that you are visiting, their life is food sovereignty. This is absolutely deep food sovereignty in daily action. Because what do we want?
Food sovereignty.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Food sovereignty.
When?
Now.
So this is a typical Romanian small farm. And Marioara lives here alone. She's a widow since 3 years. She's 68 years old and she runs the whole farm.
All by herself.
All by herself. With help from villagers, we help her quite a bit.
If we care about animal welfare, about the soil, which is the basic of our food system, about seeds, about people, it's very important to don't go for the cheapest food, but be very much aware that the money that you spend on food is also fueling that system. So the policies and regulations and the common agricultural policy make it impossible for peasants and small-scale farmers to survive and continue their work.
Indigenous people, small-scale farmers, pastoralists, fishermen folk, they are facing the same problems, and it gives me a lot of energy to see that all these people in all their countries are fighting for the same rights.
Food sovereignty is really important because it's anchored in a fundamental principle of democracy. It's about taking back control of the very fundamental thing in life, enjoying healthy and plentiful food.
It's really important that people know that this is a very lively movement and many people support it.
The Nyéléni Forum is more than a forum, it's a movement, and we want as many people as possible to join this inspiring movement for food sovereignty, especially here also in the Netherlands.
To see again the dynamics of the food sovereignty movement.
The work that I'm doing with VN Netherlands, I feel reinforced in the job that we have to do together.
I'm really proud that we came together as a Dutch delegation.
If we want a fair and sustainable food system, we all need to combine our forces. The policymakers, the consumers and the producers.